see, I switched though. See, he did better than I did. I knew. But
very steady hand.
the matches, they kept breaking in half.
Yeah. Whoops.
So again, the prayer is on page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And Barry, before you go, if you could just lift up the Kiddush cup there. We're going to turn to Kiddush on page 123 as we sanctify the day of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hakafem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratavanu v'shabbat kodesho be'ahava uv'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemasei v'reishit ki hu yom techilah lemikra kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu b'charta v'yotanu kiddashta mikol aviv v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai v'kadosh haShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. May Lois's memory be for a blessing. Thank you for coming up, Barry. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Let's turn to page 126. And this is a reading which is about gratitude and also about prayer. Please join with me. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We continue with L'chado D, which is on page 137. We're going to sing the first verse and the last verse. In the last verse, we rise and we'll face the doorway over there. Rich is standing there, not quite yet, we're not standing yet. And the end of the second verse. We'll stand and we'll bow to the Shabbat as she comes in, and then we'll welcome each other with waves.
Shamo v'zachor b'dibor echad, ishmi'anu el ha'michad, Adonai גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תחתם עיני על סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לכאן תרדי, לכאן כלה, כדי בנשמת הכוונה. לכאן תרדי, לכאן כלה, כדי בנשמת הכוונה. לה 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 לה. לכאן תרדי, לכאן כלה, כדי בנשמת הכוונה. לכאן תרדי, לכאן כלה, כדי בנשמת
We remain standing for our call of community, page 146.
La 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 Try with me.
Let's read together on 147 at the bottom. This is a prayer of longing. It is a prayer to reaching out to God. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthest most star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. We continue thinking about the love that surrounds us, page 150, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Bet Yisrael, Amach ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, hukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadta, otanu limadta. Alekein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbeinu ufkameinu nasiach mechukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki chem chayenu ve'arach yameinu. אהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמי. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל.
Blessed are you, God, who loves us. We continue 152, 153.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch shen kavod malchuto le'olam va'ed. Baruch shen kavod malchuto le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. We continue at the V'ahavta, page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות הידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 159. Let us read together in the English. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles in earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content,
Soldiers home to
the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
peace.
158. Thank you, Kent.
Ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chama chama elim Adonai, mi chama nedam hagodesh, norati hila hosef ele, norati hila hosef go. Ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
All right, we're preparing for the clapping that we have next, which is on 162, Yismechu, which is a popular melody for Shabbat. It's on the bottom there.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם ישמחו ויתענגו מטובך שבת, שבת ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. והשיר רצית בו וקידשתו שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת. Everyone ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית שבת. שבת ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת.
I invite you to rise for our private prayers and meditations, page 164 to 178. If you would like something in addition to read, there's some English reading, about prayer, which is in your leaflet, and feel free to use that as well. We'll resume our service in just a few minutes. We're going to turn to 178, Shalom Rav, a prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata lechol hashalom. Ki ata lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tom beinecha levarei et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol shar b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We're going to take an opportunity now to send prayers of healing out. The prayer can be found on page 371. And this is the types of prayers we've been praying all week. I'm going to read our list of names. In addition to Damar Hamlin, we're thinking about Lynn Bass, Michelle Boulan, Richard Bzeibach, Paula Charvella, Alex Crow, John DeBrowen, Sue Frank, Antonio Franzen, Mike Frisch, Ida Frost, Rochelle Goodman, Sharon Gray, Irene Green, Karen Greenfield, Gary Greenfield, Carolyn Grosser, Ben Lucan Johnson, Paula Jones, Phyllis Kane, Charlotte Krebs, Ruth Lansing, Miles Levy, Maurice Chip Monaghan, Jill Shire Monahan, Shel Rossi, Brandon Ryan, Joni Schwartz, Renee Schwartz, Mimi Shapiro, Gertrude Sloan, Jill Tarabasi, Mike Wheeler, Christine Zelowiski, Karen Batsara, Rafaela Batsuvia, Avram Ben Rivka, Aviva Bat Shoshana, Hannah Ezra Ben Shuel. We'll go around, and if you have names you want to say, just raise your hand. We'll bring all those names into our heart, extending our prayers out to them.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before
complete healing of body and soul. May our prayers go out to those that need them. May they be comforted. May we be comforted by the prayers we've offered. You can feel the power when we offer prayers. There's something about this. The ritual that we just did, that Cantor led us in, is actually a new ritual. If you go back to the 90s, this didn't exist. It was one of our Buffalonians, Dror Settle, as with Debbie Friedman, that created this new ritual because there really wasn't a prayer for healing that was easy to use. There were prayers that we would say in front of the Torah, but it wasn't something you could take to a sick bed or that was easy to move around or to say as a community. It was something we said in a very sacred way. This allowed it to go out. And it's probably one of the most important prayers that has ever been created. It's given a voice to our needs in those times. And when do we need prayer? We need it when our friends and family are sick. We need it when we're not right. That's when we call out to God the most. When we watched on Monday night, how many of you were watching the game? We were excited. It was this key matchup of the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Buffalo Bills with a lot at stake, and two teams that work very hard to tough cities, and gritty teams. It was only, 10 minutes, five minutes into the game or so, when the impact of what happened of the wide receiver and what happened, to Damar Hamlin. I've been trying to get the name right all week. So when that happened, it took our breath away. Suddenly, this wasn't a football game anymore. I know Sean McDermott was talking about when you're coaching. You prepare so much all week, so the game actually slows down. And he said it's very slow. You can really concentrate because you know exactly what you're going to do. But when the injury happened, it suddenly speeds up. It's the opposite of the way that you would think that it would happen. But in those moments, no one knew what to do. This is really an unprecedented situation for anyone that was there. It's amazing the medical teams had actually prepared for this, were ready for it, knew exactly what to do. They do drills exactly on this situation. And thank God, because his outcome over the past week has been miraculous. I know, having worked in hospitals as a chaplain and having witnessed this many times, it's amazing the work that's done, the heroic work that often goes behind the scenes, that really goes out to save lives. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, he would have been dead. The advances that have been made in medical technology, the way that they get to it, and they know exactly what to do, it's incredible. We really see what we say, mechaye metin, the resuscitation of life. It's something that we can really witness because of the technology available. And thank God, I do believe, I feel good, and I know he's not out of the woods yet, but I feel good that he's going to have a full recovery. He's young, and he has every chance in the world to have a full life in front of him. May it be so. But for us, as we sat around watching, it feels so powerless, right? What can we do? We know a fellow human being, someone on the Buffalo Bills, is suffering, and we want to help. We want to do something. Obviously, if we all rushed onto the field, if we took planes or drove over to Cincinnati, that wouldn't help in the least. That would make things worse. The only thing that we really have at our disposal is prayer. And the interesting thing is that around the world, around the country certainly, prayers in every different language, in every different community, you would see praying for Damar. But I wanted to bring the discussion of what does it mean to pray as a Jew. Mostly because a reporter from Channel 2 called our office on Wednesday, and wanted to talk about prayer and what does prayer mean to different traditions. It's a question that I've thought a lot about, but it was so wonderful to sit down with a young reporter. Actually, the reporters, there was a camera person and a reporter. They actually came all the way from Columbus. It was their first time in Buffalo. And they're only here this week. They said, it's rained the whole week. I said, you better get to Niagara Falls before you leave. So he was a very thoughtful reporter and asked some wonderful questions about prayer. And I think that while we're all praying, we're doing it a little differently. So I found some quotes here, and I'm going to read them. They're a little bit small. I definitely need my glasses. But Nancy said, I have space in the newsletter, in the leaflet, sorry. So I'm going to read a couple of these. See which one really hits you. These are all different opinions about why Jews pray, and they're coming from different directions. So this is from Jonathan Sacks, a blessed memory, the former chief rabbi of England. Every time we pray, we become part of the long dialogue between earth and heaven that has lasted now for almost 4,000 years. Prayer was our ancestors' source of strength, and when we learn to pray, it becomes ours also. Prayer matters. It changes the world because it changes us. It brings the divine present into our life and gives us strength we didn't know we had. Prayer aligns us with the creative energies that run through the universe, the energies we call life and love, the supreme gifts of God. So here is point number one. It connects us to this dialogue for 4,000 years of our ancestors have been having. It changes not necessarily the world, but it changes us in meaningful ways. And it kind of connects us and aligns us with the creative energy of the world. So that's one opinion on Jewish prayer. Next is Abraham Joshua Heschel. We just actually celebrated his yard site, I think maybe 70th yard site since his death. The spirit of Jewish prayer. Prayer has the power to generate insight. It often endows us with an understanding not attainable by speculation. Some of our deepest insights, decisions, and attitudes are born in moments of prayer. Often, where reflection fails, prayer succeeds. I'm not always in a mood to pray. I do not always have the vision and the strength to say a word in the presence of God. But when I am weak, it is the law that gives me strength. When my vision is dim, it is duty that gives me insight. And he's talking about the Jewish duty to pray every day. But here, prayer opens up insight. It allows us to take a moment back and reflect and gives us insight that we might not other have. Okay, so that's number two. Number three is pray. This is by a synagogue in Los Angeles, created by someone I went to school with, Rabbi Sharon Brous, and it's called Ikar. It's one of the truly outstanding synagogues in the country and the world. This is what they say in their leaflet. Each week, we come together to celebrate Shabbat in prayer. Our kavanah, our intention, is to nurture and inspire, to challenge and to agitate. We know and believe that really good, heartfelt davening can change who we are and how we see the world. It can illuminate the darkest corners of the soul. It can stretch open the narrowest passages of the heart. It can make you cry. It can make you dance. It can awaken you to deep sense of purpose, give expression to your loneliness, your grief, your yearning, your gratitude. It can connect you to God. It can connect you to community. It can connect you to yourself. And most importantly, it can surprise you. I love that reading. It's so wonderful. So we have three different reflections on Jewish prayer. I'm going to ask you just to raise your hand, but we'll see which one really you feel closest to. So first by Jonathan Sacks, that this is about this dialogue between us and our ancestors. It doesn't necessarily change the world, but it changes us. By Abraham Joshua Heschel, prayer gives us insight. It allows us to take a step back so that we can be more reflective in the world. And then from Sharon Brous and Ikar, prayer really taps into our emotions. It allows us to release emotions, to really be more compassionate in the world, and to heal and to have hope. So raise your hand if you think what Rabbi Jonathan Sacks said really speaks to you the most. Okay. This is more the traditionalist. What about Abraham Joshua Heschel, this idea of insight? I think that's taking a step back. And prayer from Rabbi Sharon Brous of Ikar. Okay, so clearly, actually, this is the most contemporary. So I'm not surprised. Ikar is only, 15 years old. So this is really speaking to us more directly than what Rabbi Jonathan Sacks and Abraham Joshua Heschel wrote, which were many decades ago. And you can see it reflected in the language. But there's something, each of them is slightly different in the way it approaches it. Does anyone want to offer why they come here to pray? I think all of these are different reasons. Anyone have any insight about what prayer means to you? Yeah, Jill.
Well, number 4.
I put that for you, Jill. So Jill said there's another reading, and all these, for those of you streaming, are available on our website in the leaflet. So keep going.
It's not like prayer, like, why do you, God is not this like old man in the sky that's going to reach down and change stuff if you ask him for stuff. And if God is truly omniscient, omnipotent, God doesn't need us to pray or thank God, but prayer makes us think about the world and reflect on it and be thankful ourselves.
So I'm just going to reflect a little what Jill said just for the streaming audience, but also for all of us if you couldn't hear her. That prayer is not about God. God is omnipotent. God doesn't need our prayers. Prayer is about us, changing us. And that's a very powerful message that's expressed in this poem by Rami Shapiro that we often read on Saturday mornings. Any other thoughts on prayer? What brought you here? What do you feel when you're here? Sometimes it's hard to express it. That's why we need these great writers here. Yeah, Sheila.
I think for me, prayer gives me the opportunity to experience a quiet mindfulness that I believe ordinary has a special home.
Sheila said it allows her to have mindfulness. It's a sense of purpose in this world. I think that's what we're trying to attain here ultimately. We can all come with our different opinions of prayer. That's okay. Jewish prayer is not one thing. It's many different things. We pray from the Siddur that has traditions that go back thousands of years with words that were meaningful when they were written and continue to be meaningful. But I think ultimately we need to find our own meaning and our own way inside. Our ancestors had different expressions and different ways to connect with prayers. Some of the prayers, like the Kabbalists we read with Lecha Dodi, that was like a joyous, exuberant prayer. Some of the prayers, like Shema, is just calling out, saying, I believe in God. Some of the prayers are crossing the sea, the Micha Mocha. All of these prayers came at different times and different understandings. There is no one way to understand it. I think what we can see by the events of this past week is that there is something universal about wanting to put us out there. I think because of the powerless we can feel as human beings to be able to put us out there and to hopefully change. They do say, whenever we do the prayer for healing, that when we pray, it does make a difference to those that are suffering. It does impact them scientifically. So I'm just going to read this poem by Mary Oliver that's called Praying, one of my favorite poets. It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be weeds in a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention, then patch a few words together, and don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but the doorway into thanks, and a silence in which another voice may speak. So Cantor is going to offer her reflection on prayer, Open My Lips by Jay Rappaport.
It may not bring water to dry fields, or mend a broken bridge, or rebuild a ruined city, but still I open up my lips. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, open up my lips. Ufi agir tehillah in my mouth may declare your glory. It may not tell you the future, or get you what you want, but it can give you what you need. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, open up my lips. Ufi agir tehillah in my mouth may declare your glory. So open up my lips. Help me find my voice. May the sound release. I won't hold back. I won't hold back. It can nourish the soul. It can mend a broken heart. It can rebuild a weakened will. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, open up my lips. Ufi agir tehillah in my mouth may declare your glory.
What a powerful reflection on prayer. That's taking the words we often use when we're entering into the Amidah. May my lips, may God open up my lips, allow me to say the prayers. We're going to turn to Aleinu, page 586. And Naomi, would you like to? Is she here? Yeah, come on up. We're going to rise, page 586, for Aleinu. Naomi's going to help me open the ark. Page 591. You may be seated. We're going to turn to the Mourner's Kaddish. First, I want to offer condolences to Rob and Marcus Weed over there for her father, Simon Marcus. May his memory be for a blessing, and our thoughts and prayers are with you and family. We also lost Dr. Michael Bloom this week, and in the past month, Jerry Reisberg, Adrian Sauer, Chris Fazio, Joyce Seitz, and Dr. Sten Theander. On our yahrzeit list from years past, we're remembering Dora Bardak, Jeanette Berzone, Jerome Bloomberg, Anna Bress, Samuel Burstein, Yitzchak Burstein, Max Tillman Cohen, Isidore Chorus, Adolf Kramer, Jenny Cutler, Sherwood Draymond, Shirley Factor, Aaron Fierstein, Ava Gale, Anna Gelfer, Morris Gelman, Fanny Gordon, Ida Gottesman, Sigmund Gross, Alvin Cantor, Sarah Chorus, Ida Kranitz, Murray Krebs, Ben Crone, Eric Lansing, Margaret Lansing, Estelle Leonard, Carolyn Pickard-Lewis, Nathaniel Lewis, Lucy Marks, Alice Miller, June A. Mindell, Ann Berg Moscow, Bertha Perlman, Pincus Peller, Jenny Pohl, Edward Quattrini, Herbert Savitt, Sandra Schweitzer Siegel, Sasha Strasberg, Martin A. Tufts, Elaine Weinman, and Lois Weinstein. If there's other names that weren't mentioned, please feel free to raise your hand. Oh. The prayers on Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598, and all those whose custom it is to rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'yalma divrach hurate v'yamlik malchute v'chayechon v'yamachon v'chayed echol beit Yisrael v'galav v'zman kariv v'yiramein Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach leolam olmei almaya Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudasha b'rechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata damiran v'yalma v'yimramein Yehi shlom rabba min shemaya Chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael b'mramein. Oseh shalom b'mramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel b'mramein. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world. And we say, Amen. You may be seated. Zikronam livracha. May their memory be for a blessing. I'd like to invite up Joanne Marcusy, our executive director, to give the announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you to everyone who wore Bill's attire tonight in support of Damara Hamlin and the Buffalo Bills team, and we wish Damara a complete healing. We'd like to thank our service greeter this evening, one of our regulars, Sheila Bernard Tucker, who always does a wonderful job. Thank you, Sheila. And a special thank you to Rabbi Alex Cantor-Frank and Ken Kaufman for a beautiful service with lovely reflection on prayer. Our virtual offering on Saturday is Torah study at 9 a.m. via Zoom, and the Shabbat morning service will be at 11 a.m. at Canterbury Woods. And you can see our website for the link for the Zoom event. The Women of Shir Shalom game night is back tomorrow night at 6:30. They already have 25 people. It's very exciting. Join in the card games, board games, and other games. You can RSVP to Jill Hamilton, who is here this evening. And it's not too late to join us, except for Bunko. Bunko is full. Super Bowl squares are now for sale for $10 or $20 per square. Excuse me. And the fundraiser is to benefit the Community Religious School. And the Community Religious School resumes on Sunday for school. They've been off for a couple of weeks for winter break. High Club drawings are still going on every Wednesday through Purim. The tickets are $18. There's 3 winners every week, $18, $36, and $54. And the grand prize will be $180, $360, and $540 at the Purim Spiel. And your ticket goes back in. So if you win, you can win again, and a number of people have. And you can still buy tickets if you'd like. And we'd like to thank Todd Sugarman for coordinating and sponsoring the 2 pickleball courts that are undercover right now. In case you didn't know, our social hall is actually being renovated, and we're very, very excited about it and very grateful. And right now, there's tarps everywhere and painting, and it's very exciting. And if you'd like, I can turn on the lights so you can peek through the doors, get a preview. And our upcoming events are listed in the service leaflet, and you're welcome to take it home. And if you need anything, please feel free to reach out to Rabbi, Cantor, myself, Bruce, or Todd. We're here for you. And please join us for the Yonik Shabbat. And if you'd ever like to sponsor one for an occasion or no occasion at all, please let me know. Shabbat Shalom and go Bills.
So we have Frank over here. You have your son and your grandson, and you want to come over and get our challah? It's so exciting. His son is in from Colorado, right? All right. Well, actually, Frank, I realize we usually do a Don Olam first, don't we?
We can do it after.
Okay, we'll do it. So lift up. We'll do the hamotzi, and then we'll do a Don Olam.
All the way over.
Yeah. Okay. So lift up our challah there, and take off the cover. It's not a French fry. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. And that's for you and your son and grandson to enjoy. So take the challah. Adon Olam can be found on 625.
Adon Olam Hashem Allah V'terem kol yitzin hira V'yid nasa v'kebso kol Asai melech shemo nikra Asai melech shemo nikra V'yachabeh Levai
as you came in peace, may you leave in peace. Please return your prayer books without the leaflet to the front, and please enjoy our oneg. Shabbat Shalom.